What if Larry David is an older version of Greg Heffley? Alright, I had this thought because I loved Diary of a Wimpy Kid when I was a kid. And it's so crazy that we all have memories of going to the Scholastic Book Fair and getting this book like every year. At the same time, I've been rewatching Curb Your Enthusiasm and I noticed some similarities. For those of you who don't know, Curb Your Enthusiasm is a comedy from the early 2000s. It follows Larry David, who deals with the most minor inconveniences imaginable. He annoys or pisses off his friends and family by ignoring social conventions or creating his own set of rules that only he understands, which leads him to being like awkward and weird to everyone. Sometimes he's justified with how he acts, and well, most of the time he's in the wrong. Now, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is the quote-unquote journal of Greg Heffley, who writes about trying to navigate middle school's social hierarchy and thinks he has all the answers. But often Greg's ideas are misguided and come from a desire to fit in. And since he's so misguided and judgmental, he ends up pissing everyone off around him. And if you break them down, they're both cowardly, narcissistic, manipulative, lazy, egomaniacs, and worst of all, simps. When Greg Heffley in Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, he tries to impress a girl by jumping on the highest diving board, even though he's never tried it before, but his underwear gets caught and he ends up being naked and gets embarrassed by everyone. But similarly, when Larry David was a child, he was also trying to impress a girl in a game of poker and he ends up naked in front of a bunch of his neighbors. Both were naked and afraid, trying to impress women. But ignoring that, and the thing that makes them the most similar is that we like them. Well, at least I do. Even though they're constantly being petty and they're negative, narcissistic, and all those things, we still root for them. This is because both of these characters are filled with imperfections, and flawed characters are more interesting than heroic ones. Their stories are more unique because, like real life, the good guys don't always get good things, and the bad guys don't always get punished. So it's almost more realistic in a sense to have characters who don't learn their lessons. And it's really a testament to how good the writing is, because we see these awful turn of events that just continuously get worse and worse. And that's where the comedy comes in, when it finally explodes in their faces. Like the time Larry invites his uncle to a show called The Vagina Monologue, where his wife plays the lead role. But after simping for his ex-girlfriend, Lucy, she asks him to come to her incest survival group because she doesn't want to go alone. Then Larry's manager asks her for her number and he gives it to her. Now Larry has to lie to his wife because the survival group demands anonymity. But when he goes to the group, everyone is sharing their stories, and he makes up a story about his uncle, saying that he had sex with him, and he also says his name is Todd. Later, it turns out one of the members of the group is the creator of the Vagina Monologue and calls Larry Todd, which makes his wife suspect something, and she ends up quitting the role. But now Larry has to explain everything.
She had sex with her grandfather, then she had sex with our uncles, both uncles, one on our mother's side, one on our father's side, and they didn't even...
And she feels bad and calls making up another lie. The creator says the role's been filled by Larry's ex. However, his manager ends up in a car accident, which was caused by Larry gifting him alcohol. But since they were in an accident, finally Larry's wife can be in the show. But they bring along his uncle backstage, and well, the creator isn't a fan of his uncle, and it all explodes in Larry's face.
Get out, you filthy animal, you swine!
I say all this to show how these events cause Larry to lie and lie and lie, but we understand every lie, and we're even rooting for him. In this story, he's the quote-unquote good guy. Normally, he isn't. And I say good in quotations because how do we determine if he's good or not? I don't know. I'm not gonna get all philosophical. Anyways, even though we like him, we kind of judge him. I've seen many YouTube videos where people say that they liked Greg Heffley when they were younger, but now he kind of seems like an asshole.
And worst of all, he's a simp.
But I think the fact that he is an asshole is what makes him so relatable. We all know that kids are assholes. At one point, we were kids. Or we still are. I don't know who you are. But this diary is supposed to be all the thoughts a kid has, no matter how bad they might be. And Curb Your Enthusiasm is a more grown-up version of that. It's a very honest telling. We know this because in the show, the characters are named after their real-life counterparts. Larry David is Larry David. Jeff is Jeff. Cheryl is Cheryl in real life, and it's all shot like a documentary. Handheld, natural lighting, this is all on purpose. But this whole time I've been hiding something from you guys. I think it's time to come out. I think it's time to come clean. Even though I've been calling Greg a simp, I'm a simp myself. I know. We've all done things we're not proud of. We've all made mistakes in our past. And before you unsubscribe, and instead of judging people for their mistakes, I want us all to comment a time we were an asshole to someone. Because we all have assholes. It's a part of us. It's who we are. In a weird way, we're all Larry David. And we're all Greg Heffleys. We're all the same. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe. I don't know how to end this video. Larry David is Greg Heffley. Confirmed. They're both white. End of argument.